All right, y'all. Hey, good morning. This is Toni with Eat and Travel with Toni. I want to come on to, of course, to let you all know what happened. I guess I put it that way. I know that I was posting, of course, about a cruise that was supposed to take place. This is November, so I guess about 2 or 3 weeks ago, last month in October, on the Sun Princess, the new Sun Princess that was coming to the U.S. It was the first inaugural cruise, the first cruise we would have been on like that as well, even though this is my fifth cruise. Well, would have been my fifth cruise, but my first inaugural and my partner's first inaugural. But like I said, I think I posted probably about a week or so ago that cruise did not happen. That cruise did not happen. I guess I put it that way. We missed our flight to connect to Orlando, and therefore we had no cruise. So the whole entire week was ruined. We took a Delta flight from we actually drove up to Phoenix, Arizona, and then we took a Delta flight over to went to Detroit and then down to Orlando, not Orlando, Fort Lauderdale is where we're supposed to be coming from. And let me put this. Oh, what's going on? Okay, but I'm sorry about that, y'all. I was trying to do something else, but like I said, it's supposed to go to Fort Lauderdale. That's where we're supposed to catch the Sun Princess cruise from. Of course, we got our flight. Of course, it was an overnight flight, so we assumed that this was our first red-eye flight, trying to do something different. Usually, we leave like a day or two ahead of time. The last cruise we actually took last year, it was in not November, October 2023, and we left probably about 4 days ahead of time because we wanted to enjoy Miami sometime and go see the famous beach and the like the Versace mansion, all these kind of places. So we actually left several days early. But for this one, like I said, we were trying to do an overnight flight that would get us there in the morning, early morning. We had enough time to, of course, get to from the actual airport in Fort Lauderdale down to our cruise ship and that kind of thing. And in our minds, it would have been fine. I guess I put it that way. But of course, like I said, we drove up to Phoenix. By the time we got to Detroit, of course, we got there in enough time to, of course, get off the plane to go get our other or get on the other plane to go down to Fort Lauderdale. But the pilot just sat there on the tarmac, just waiting for whatever he was talking about. He was talking about, first he said something about the marshals. Then he came on and said something about the shift change. So therefore, we missed our flight. They didn't have any other flights or no other airline that would have got us down to Fort Lauderdale before, I think it was 2 o'clock, because the Princess, that cruise was leaving early to even get down there for our dawn cruise. So we ended up missing the whole cruise, sat in the airport looking stupid. They actually paid for us to go back down to Phoenix. We can go back home. That was all we damn did. Like I said, we both were pissed off, upset, wasted thousands of dollars for nothing really. And like I said, I'm damn well sure, because there was other folks on the plane too, that missed their other connecting flights and that kind of thing, because he just sat there for at least almost an hour, 45 minutes to an hour on the tarmac doing nothing really. And I'm going to assume that if they have a shift change every damn day, they're not going to have all these folks mixing their flights every day. So I have a feeling that's probably not what happened. But like I said, I could be totally wrong. We weren't the only ones upset. I have no idea if anybody else was going to Fort Lauderdale or going anywhere else for a cruise. I don't know. I didn't ask. But I did hear the folks that were sitting near us talking about how angry they were, how upset they were. They've missed their flight, and how he just sitting here. And one lady was going off and just upset and everything. We were upset too, but I figured what was the point? But like I said, it was just very, very what is going on with my computer this morning? Like I said, it was very, very heartbreaking. I guess I put it that way. Like I said, this definitely taught us the lesson to never try to do something different and take an overnight flight to get us there early morning, about 6 or 8 o'clock, whatever. I think it was like 8 o'clock in the morning or something. It was supposed to get us to Fort Lauderdale, which did still give us enough time to, of course, get to the cruise port and all that type of stuff. Like I said, I know it's on us too for not following our first mind and not doing what we have done for the last several cruises we've been on. So like I said, this was just crazy, y'all. Like I said, I'm now able to talk about it. I was, of course, very upset. All that money lost and that kind of thing. We still did find something to do. We did go, and I'll post some stuff about that too. We did take another like little in-town getaway, I guess you can say, to a bed and breakfast here in town, just to clear our minds and that kind of thing as well, and to regroup. I guess I'd say that. So, and of course, when you miss a cruise, you don't get your money back. I know they have the travel insurance. The only way they would have gave us all our money back for that cruise that we missed is if we would have had somebody would have died, had a car accident on the way to the plane, or I don't know if the plane had an accident or whatever the case may be. Someone got sick and we couldn't take the cruise. Other than that, if you miss a connecting flight, they don't actually replace your, whether you had travel insurance or not. Travel insurance they would have given you or tried to get you to like the next port, and Delta probably would have did the same thing. But I figured, what the hell is the fucking point at that point anyway? We've missed several days of the cruise already. What was the point of going down? We would have only had like 2-3 days left, and then have to deal with going to Dominican Republic or some other country trying to figure out how to get to the cruise ship. And so we just said, never mind. Even though they didn't offer that, as far as Delta wanting to fly us to the port, someone told us that once we got back. But like I said, by that time it was too late. So what was the point? So, but like I said, we definitely learned our lesson to never, for one, try to do something different and go an overnight red eye trip or flight to get somewhere unless it's a direct flight and no layovers. That's for one. And for two, to make sure that we're, of course, sticking to what we know to stick to, is leaving a day or two ahead of time instead of the night before or that kind of thing, thinking we still had time and not accounting for things that could, of course, happen on the way, like this connecting flight we missed due to the pilot doing whatever he wanted to do, I guess. But like, because I'm sure every day they don't have people missing flights every single day in Detroit at the airport because they have a shift change. I'm pretty sure that. I've never heard of that at any other airport. People just every day, all day long, missing flights because they have a shift change at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm pretty sure that's not the case every single day, 365 days a year. I'm sure that at any airport, because they always have things in place to make sure that their staff still available, staff still working. I know that for a fact. So like I said, I have no idea what was going on, but that's okay. Like I said, we definitely missed that cruise. Like I said, we didn't get the money back. The only thing we did get back was our gratuities, I think, which is like the tips that you pay for the staff working on the cruise ship. That was about $350. I think we got that back. They sent us, well, I haven't got it back yet, but they're supposed to return the money for the minus $20, but the money for the dinner we had booked and stuff like that as well. So, but like I said, otherwise, Delta, I did, of course, send a complaint into Delta Airlines, and that was actually our first time ever taking Delta Airlines, I must say, and it was definitely a very disappointing time, actually. But like I said, that was our first time ever taking Delta. We always take Southwest, and I've never in my life had these problems over the past 20-something years flying with Southwest. I've never had these issues. But like I said, we tried to do an overnight flight and a different airline, and that we won't do Delta again. The only thing I would say is that they did give us each $150 of e-credit to put towards a flight somewhere. Now that I will take again, I guess, if as long as I can fit it within their range. I know there's places I can go to for 150 or less than 200 from here, but like I said, we're never taking a Delta again unless we really have to, because I know they go places overseas and that kind of thing as well. So of course we do look forward to going overseas and that kind of thing too. So we're going to have to take a Delta or American or somebody else. And we actually did have a flight coming back. We didn't get reimbursed for that either. So like I said, we just lost money all around, about $2,500, almost 3,000. Well, actually, it's about 3,000 almost. So like I said, we're just very disappointed, upset. Tried all these new things to fly Delta, to go on the Sun Princess inaugural, all these new things. And this was my first trip I was going to be taking to actually do some content, to actually film and show my day by day. That never did happen. So we have another cruise coming up in March, actually. We'll be going a day ahead of time like we normally do, or a few days ahead of time, whichever one we decide to do. But it will not be an overnight flight or with Delta. I guess I put it that way. So we're going back to our trusty old Southwest, which I've never had any problems with them at all. For like I said, I'm 48, so in my early mid 20s, haven't had any issues with Southwest Airlines. So that's who we're going back to until, like I said, we're going overseas and we have to take another flight. American, United, Delta, Asia, Japan, all those types of things. I know you have to take different flights. Southwest don't go all them places. So, but like I said, we were definitely disappointed. And I know it took a little while for me to do this video. Like I said, I was just still disappointed, still upset. But like I said, I'm doing better today. I did get discouraged. I'm not wanting to go travel anymore, that kind of thing, which I'm pretty sure I'm still going to do. I was just pissed off and upset. That's all. Because that was the first time that has ever happened. I guess in the 4 cruises in the past I've taken, it has never happened like that at all. But like I said, that's a lesson learned across the board for both of us, to never take an overnight flight again, especially with Delta or anybody else's airline going to a cruise. So with that, y'all, I want to share this story with y'all just so y'all can know to not do the same things that we did, because you won't get your money back even if you have the cruise insurance.